You showed up.
You sure know how to throw a party. No food, no drinks, and the only babe just left.
My sincerest apology, brother. I was so eager to see you, I couldn't concentrate on preparations for the bash.
Whatever. At any rate, it's been a whole year since we last met. How about a kiss from your little brother? Or better yet, how about a kiss from this? So, this is what they call a heartwarming family reunion, eh?
You got that right.
Hi everybody, how's everybody's morning, afternoon, evening, and nights? I just wanted to create this video for you guys just to voice my own opinion about the PS5 Slim and let you guys know ahead of time. And of course I will put more information just down below the video page that you're watching the video in the description, and as well as the pinned comments, so you guys can find out from other people's YouTube videos, tweets from Twitter, as well as the websites and articles, as well as everywhere else too in the internet, so you guys know ahead of time. So I'm going to be on Twitter right now, which I'm looking at the images that were shown, which I guess somebody got their hands on it too as well, and might probably talk about it too and everything else. And by the looks of this particular PS5 Slim console, it kind of seems very questionable about this console design here. It's very strange, as even though it's a little bit like a few inches shorter than the original, but still I'm kind of not a fan of the PS5 Slim's design. And of course, hearing about the faceplate is kind of a iffy jiffy, which I'll get to that soon. So what I noticed about it is that it has two USB Type-C ports on there. So I guess it makes it easier to recharge your phones, tablets, as well as like your earbuds and everything else too. And maybe even using like decorations, as well as like the third-party accessories, basically like remotes and stuff like that. I guess they're going for that. And then as well as like noticing that the eject button used to be right next to the power button, so I guess it makes it easier to eject your disk out of the optical drive, which it makes the most sense. So I'll give them credit for that, which I admit is pretty good. While it kind of like lacked in the original, which even though it's kind of like over there, but still, yeah. So that's a good thing about the eject button there. And then with the original, on the other hand, you have like A and C USB ports on there, as well as the eject button next to the power button. So that's the difference between the two of them. And then having a look at the faceplate on the PS5 Slim, I kind of don't like it, to be fair. It's kind of just very awkward how they made a decision like this. It's very strange. Then having a look at the ventilation, air ventilation, it's a little different. It kind of looks like a little tighter, like in tight spaces. Like take for example, like if you're entering a cave, like you have like a lot of open space, you can walk around, do whatever you want. But as you go like in the middle part of the cave, like the walls are getting like a lot more like less spacious. It gets like tighter and tighter and tighter until at some point in time like you get stuck between the two of them, because either you cover yourself in like grease, oil, as well as like butter and margarine, even if you do have like maple syrup, so at least that way you can be able to like get yourself out of a tight situation, kind of like that for that kind of example. So it kind of looks a little tight with the PS5 Slim, while the original kind of looks a little similar to it, but still, because at least it has like a little more space around there. Well, this one's kind of like a bit somewhat okay spacious, just a tiny bit. And then having a look at the back part, it kind of looks a little limited, while the original has more air ventilation at least, which is pretty cool, and etc. And of course I noticed that the HDMI port was put to the middle back of it as well, which I guess it makes it easier for people that have TV stands as well as like computer desk and whatsoever, so they can be able to connect to their screens very easily on their TV screens and computer monitor screens, where the HDMI port is, so it makes sense because it makes it a little easier to connect, and well, as well as having like cable management too, as well as like having the Ethernet port right next to it, and having like USB-A ports in there too, and as well as like moving away from the power slot there to plug the power cord. And then eventually you see like the original, you have the USB-A ports there, as well as the Ethernet ports, HDMI right next to it too. So I guess they kind of like flipped it around a bit and changed it. So pretty much good to know. Or at least they kind of did like a reverse Uno and stuff. And I'm kind of looking around some more with the images of the faceplates there of the Slim, but once again, I'm not a fan of the PS5 Slim's faceplate, to be fair. I'm not that crazy about it. And then I kind of looked around some more and even looked at the actual little stands that you have for the Slim, where if you wanted to like make it like horizontal, you probably have to put it like in between the panels at least from like one side. So I'm just like, that's probably like the strangest thing I've ever seen. Because whose idea was it to just like put out like one on each side for it to make it like stay like that? Because these kind of things look a little flimsy in my opinion, even though you have like those non-slip tips on there, but still very odd choice for them to do it like this. It's very strange. And I went out on my way to go to the PlayStation blog, which is coming out this holiday season, of course, and maybe it might be available for different countries as well, so depending where you are in the world and stuff like that. And of course, look at the image of it, having to look at the physical disc edition and as well as the digital edition. And of course, there's a stand there that everybody was talking about. And to what I noticed on that picture at the bottom right corner with the words there saying vertical stand sold separately, and I thought to myself, that's a little unusual for them to just like sell it so separately. So let me get my face out of the way for a moment so I don't block the text for you guys. So I went on my way to like look around some more of what's the reason why they wanted to sell it so separately. Like, why not have it like come with the console, you know? So I looked into it some more, and I kind of like scrolled down a little bit here, and I kind of noticed that they're gonna sell it for at least about $30 just to get the vertical stand if you wanted to have it like that. Oop. It's kind of a bit silly if you ask me, for 30 bucks for the vertical stand. And then if people decided to get themselves like a digital edition, by example, and decided, and later on if they wanted to like add like an add-on disk drive, then it would probably cost them at least about, where was I going? Okay, there it is. Because if you purchase digital edition console, add like a ultra HD Blu-ray disc drive for later for your console, you have to pay like $80 for it. So it's gonna be like $110 in total for US dollars. It's kind of a bit silly, which could probably most likely make like the PS5 digital edition a bit more expensive than the disc edition of the Slim models, which is kind of a bit crazy if you believe it or not. Because due to the fact that the original PS5 console was like launching, because with the original PS5 console, like it cost about like $399, as well as the digital edition of the original is $349. Because since it came out back in 2020 and then heading towards right now, we've seen the Slim model being priced like $100 more than its original, which is kind of silly if you ask me. Which is kind of a bit ridiculous. And then eventually I went on my way to look at the Canadian side over here, which is gonna cost us an arm and a leg, unfortunately. Which, even finding out about the internet connected PS5 disk drives, which I probably assume for the Slim most likely, in order for it to activate, just to connect it to the internet to get it to work and register and all that, I'm like, that's just about silly. And yeah, it's gonna cost us an arm and a leg, which is really expensive to be fair, which is kind of silly. And then having to look at the other part of the page as well. Yeah, so even though it's a little bit like slimmer, smaller than the original, but still, it's gonna be pretty pricey for us in Canada. It's gonna be very, very pricey. So it'll be like $649 for the slim disc edition, as well as like $519 for the slim digital edition as well, which is kind of a bit silly in my perspective. So overall, in my opinion, what I think about the PS5 Slim, I don't really see myself getting myself something that's gonna have like a few issues that I have with it, because I don't really see the purpose of like trying to like trade or even sell my PS5 original for a slim model that's gonna most likely gonna cost me an arm and a leg, but it's kind of a bit ridiculous if you ask me. So just to let you guys know at a time, which this is in my honest opinion, I don't really see myself buying the Slim because it's very questionable from my point of view. And just before near the end of this video, I'm gonna try to like go out of my way just to showcase my original for you guys, just in case. So I'm gonna get to that right about now. This is my PS5 original console since I got it in 2020 of November, so you guys know ahead of time. And I have it in a horizontal position right now, as you can clearly see right here. But I have it like this, so it's easier to keep it balanced. And if, for example, if I wanted to make it vertical, by example, I probably would take the stand here, and as well as like taking out the bottom part of the protective cap, where you could put this screw in there, because you could use like whatever you have, like for fingernails and stuff like that, to take it out whatsoever. And pretty much with the stand, this one by example, I could just like rotate it so I can reveal the hidden compartments. I just rotate it like this whatsoever to open and close, and then you'll see it over here. You see the screw over here, like this one. So specifically, I'm gonna make a vertical now. I'll just do it like this, and then pretty much like put the screw in there as well, which I could do either with my fingers, even with a screwdriver. Oh, with a screwdriver, or even I can go out of my way to even use a quarter as well, for no apparent reason, because I just messed around for no reason. So let's get it in there. So that way I can make it vertical. Almost had it. Just have to tighten it a bit more just to secure it properly so it doesn't slip around. Okay, it's tight. So I can make it vertical like this, so it's a little easier. But you can also ignore this because it's mostly just for the digital thermometer and stuff like that. And yeah, if I want to make it vertical like this more often. And of course, if I want to go back to horizontal, of course, I'll just simply take out the screw at the bottom. Which I think I'll probably use the quarter again for some odd reason. For some reason, I'm obsessed with it for some reason. It's kind of weird. But what can you do? So I'm gonna go back from vertical to horizontal. And get it out with my fingers. All right. All right, cool. So, got that done. We're gonna put the screw back in the hidden compartment of the stand. Making sure it stays in place. Oh, it's the wrong way. Yeah, it's right over here. I have to put it instead. Put it like that.
twist this stuff, so that way I don't lose the screw. Cool. And now just to flip it over where the places and symbols are, so I can make it horizontal. Pretty simple stuff whatsoever. And eventually I'll probably just show the inside for you guys, which I'm pretty sure you've seen from before. Take out the face plates. Let me just make sure to take off the stand as well, just in case. And of course putting back this one too, which I forgot to do. And get the other face plate. And pretty much, this is the optical drive that came with the console, which I got the disc edition, by the way. And I did went out of my way to replace the original metal cover for the M.2 SSD, because to me, I rather much prefer like a third-party cover instead. As I went ahead and pretty much got myself a Sabrent PS5 Heatsink, so it can fit on there. So at least that way you can cool down your SSD, as well as taking away the heat and transferring it into the cooling fan, and as well as the air ventilation, so it's easier to cool down your console and stuff like that, as well as the Elecgear PS5 Heatsink, which I went out of my way to make a video about it too, so you guys know ahead of time whatsoever. And yeah, that's what happened to it. So I kind of like use these ones more often than this one, to be fair. So that's this particular reason why I decided to change it and whatsoever, and etc. So I'm gonna go out of my way to try to put back the face plates, just to show you guys what's happening, just to share my thoughts. Making sure it's secure. All right. And then this one too. Alright, just want to make sure that everything's like put in place and whatsoever. And then put it back the way I found it, in a horizontal position, because I kind of find it easier that way, so there's just less dust under and etc. So overall, I kind of much rather prefer to just keep the original model of the PS5 than having to go out of my way to get the Slim model, which I find myself least likely to get the Slim model, because it seemed a little silly for Sony to make a cash grab out of the PS5 Slim, in my perspective, because I think it's a bit ridiculous for just Sony to like make a price increase of the Slim, as well as the redesign of it seems a bit awkward and weird with the face plates and etc. So overall, I just wanted to like voice my own opinions, have a rant about it and whatsoever, so you guys know ahead of time. Which I'd like to thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope everybody has a very great morning, afternoon, evening, and night, as well as staying safe. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Take care.